Drama, bin drama, Arab drama, ole drama, mto drama, nyar drama, side drama. Zote pamoja. Ati somebody tried to impeach the president. Huh? Ati somebody tried to do what to the president? Ati somebody tried to get Raila to help him to defeat the president of the Republic of Kenya? No. Am I hearing right, or is my hearing failing me? Wah. Welcome to my show today, where I dissect and go very deeply into this latest very sensational revelations about the betrayal happening in the presidency, or the betrayal that happened in the presidency. And don't forget that all these revelations are hot in the heels of some other very crazy revelations by a man called Moneybags Livondo, who told us that there had been 2 attempts, not 1, 2, on the life of our president. What is going on in Kenya? Obviously, this is an issue, critical issue, that Kenyans need to understand thoroughly. And I've made a big effort. I have taken my time to collect information. I have taken my time to think everything through. And what you have today is a very thorough show. And not only that, you can expect a show that reveals for the first time information that will just blow your mind away. Even as it opens your eyes on what has been happening, what has really been happening since 2008, especially after March. Yeah, that's when the handshake took place. Karibu sana, and please spare the time at the very end of my show today to take in 2 very important clips for the development of this your favorite channel, so that I can keep on giving you what you always look forward to. Asante sana, and please make sure you thoroughly enjoy yourselves, even though the issues we're dealing with here are very grave matters indeed. Karibu sana. For us to fully understand this impeachment manenos, it is that we start by getting our timelines correct and accurate. Indeed, this is key to unlocking the mystery that has now befallen many Kenyans, with the president and his men telling us that the deputy actually tried to get him impeached, to get the president impeached, and the deputy denying, telling us that the president is telling us lies. So who should we believe? Let us go back to the facts, state them, and look at the timelines step by step, and the truth will be revealed very clearly for all to see, at least those who want to see it. Because not everybody wants to see the truth. Many Kenyans want to see things skewed according to their favorite candidate. We shall not do that. Now, the first question I want to ask is, when did the president fall out with his deputy? It is very important. When exactly did the president fall out with his deputy? Many people think 2018. Not true. Actually, they fell out, wait for this one, in the year 2015. Sometime during the year 2015. Now in 2015 I was not in politics. Yeah. I had retired. Forever, or so I thought. But of course Almighty God had other plans. But I could already see from the body language towards the end of 2015 that there was a problem between the deputy and the president. And since I was not reporting politics, I was not analyzing politics, I kept it to myself. But when I came back into politics in 2016, it is a story for another day. How I came back into politics in 2016 towards the end. But anyway, when I came back, the very first reports I filed were about this. And many people just dismissed me. Many of my most loyal followers thought that I had lost it. I had lost the edge. I was no longer analyzing politics. I had gone on a holiday telling people farewell, and then suddenly I'd come back with rubbish. Anyway, I could clearly see from the body language. I worked my sources. Nothing. Nobody knew anything. In fact, most were surprised. What are you talking about? The president and the deputy have just been in a meeting, yeah, a few hours ago. And everything was okay. Chris, are you okay? Anyway, the critical take home here is that as we went into the 2017 presidential elections, the president and his deputy were at loggerheads. Let us get that very clear. Because it's confirmed from multiple sources. Even other bloggers are now beginning to tell us. I was listening to another blogger, another YouTuber, trying to analyze this a few moments before I came in. And even they were acknowledging for the first time that the president fell out with his deputy in 2015. Yeah, despite the fact that they'd said something different in most of the other previous videos. Yeah. So the truth is now dawning on most. The reason why I'm emphasizing this is that I have a close friend, somebody whom all Kenyans know, who has never believed that it's possible for a president to go into a presidential election with his running mate, his deputy, yeah, and the two do not see eye to eye. They still don't believe that. Anyway, that is the truth. And of course, after the elections, and as 2018 progressed, especially after the handshake, this problem, this rift in the presidency became very clear to more and more Kenyans. Although many thought it had just started then. Now I want to move on to some very controversial information you have never heard anywhere before. And you're hearing it first on this, your beloved channel, the Kumekucha Chris YouTube channel. This is brand new information. Yeah. I want to take you back to the beginning of 2017. At the time, if you can remember, or if you can go back and do your research, the deputy president had disappeared from public for quite a long time. And there were rumors flying all over the place. Some people were saying he was sick, he was ailing. But nobody was saying there was a problem between the president and his deputy. And at around that time, I have a video on this channel where I covered a very curious, bizarre, unique meeting that took place at the Dagoretti Corner at a Nyama Choma joint. And this meeting was between the deputy president and the president's men. At that time, people like Moses Kuria, Johnson Sakaja, and many others. And in that meeting, because photographs were taken, but nobody heard what was being discussed. But in that meeting, very clearly from the body language, there were some negotiations going on between the Deputy President and the President's man. Think about it for a minute. Why would the Deputy President have to negotiate or discuss something with the President's man instead of discussing it directly with the President? Now, I have a theory. I believe at that time, the President and the Deputy President were not on talking terms. It is highly likely that at that time, the President was considering having another running mate for the upcoming presidential elections. In other words, the betrayal had already taken place. The betrayal and final fallout had already unfolded. And what was happening at Dagoretti Corner was some kind of negotiation linked to the 2017 presidential elections. Now, interestingly, we have already been given information. The information that we have been given is that the government had been divided into half. Yeah. Half of it was controlled by the President and the other half by the Deputy President. I'm talking about dockets, ministries. Yeah. And the President was not happy about some of the ministries, dockets, being handled by the Deputy President. Now, that simple sentence is very loaded. There's information in the public domain that there were allegations of corruption in those particular dockets. There were scandals in those particular dockets being controlled by the Deputy President. Now, I can already hear some naive Kenyan shooting back at me and asking me, Chris, what concern was it of the President what the Deputy President's dockets were doing? After all, President akikula yake, awache Ruto akule yake. Something like that. Now, there's a very big problem. And already we have seen that problem unfolding. You see, the buck stops at the desk of the President. And so, the President may do his own things and gladly take responsibility for them. Know how to handle them. Know how to handle the damage control. Yeah. However, when you have a very ambitious deputy doing their own things, and some of those things are very alarming, you know the buck will always stop at your desk. People will always blame the President. Nobody will say it is the deputy who messed up. The deputy messed up in whose government? Huh? Who was the President? Now, what I meant when I said it has already unfolded, the Deputy President has been campaigning. And what he has been insinuating is that the government he was in, and still is in, was messed up by the President and not him. What the Deputy President has been very clearly telling us is that we should not talk of any corruption between 2013 and now in government. We should not talk of any corruption and blame it on him. He was not, and he has never been, the President. Ask the President. See what I mean? If I was the President's handler, yeah, that is something that would have made me go ballistic. Yeah, because of exactly what has happened. Yeah. It is very difficult for the President to defend himself. Nobody ever is going to buy the story that the government was split into two. Yeah. Half the dockets were being handled by the President, and the other half of the dockets were being fully handled and managed and overseen by the Deputy President. And although nobody is going to buy that story, that is the truth. That is the reality. That is exactly what happened. Anyway, I have credible information, unfortunately not from two independent sources, unfortunately not from a highly reliable source. Yeah, but still this information is very believable. And the information is that the president seriously considered having a different running mate in the 2017 presidential elections. What? And in fact, at the time the deputy president disappeared from the public, the main thing being discussed at State House amongst the president's men was how to constitutionally remove a deputy president, or how to constitutionally replace a deputy president. And of course, in the run-up to an election, that would have been much easier than after the election. Yeah, because all you do is that the Jubilee party presents a different candidate for deputy president. It's that simple. And they go into that election. And if they win, inakaa hivyo, the new team takes charge. Yeah. However, there were a few very critical political considerations, yeah, which favored negotiating with the deputy president for the ticket to remain the same into those presidential elections. And I'm sure the thinking was that once the president is safely re-elected, yeah, with all the instruments of power at his disposal, he would find a way to deal with this deputy president problem. Now, to support what I'm saying, it is instructive that after the Dagoretti meeting reappeared publicly, started becoming active in public, even accompanied the president in some functions. Yeah, but anybody who could read body language could clearly see something had changed. Now, in my view, and looking at the politics, it would have been political suicide to go into that general election, 2017, without William Samoei Ruto as President Uhuru Kenyatta's running mate. Because William Samoei Ruto controlled the massive, vote-rich Rift Valley, which the president badly needed in his re-election bid. Had William Samoei Ruto left government in 2017, it would have been a disaster. Because what would have happened is that the Rift Valley would have lined up almost to a man in support of the opposition. I mean, that's obvious. Yeah? And Raila Odinga would have won by a landslide. And any tricks, yeah, any attempt to fiddle with the election would have been impossible. Yeah, because Raila's lead would have been too massive. Yeah, assuming a Raila-Ruto alliance in 2017 against President Uhuru Kenyatta. I have good reason to believe that it was these negotiations in early 2017, yeah, to bring Ruto back into the fold, yeah, mainly for the sake of winning those presidential elections. It was those negotiations that gave DP Ruto teeth that have enabled him to survive until the year 2022. And now we're only 4 months to the elections. It made Ruto, the deal they agreed on, for him to come back on board, it made Ruto untouchable. Because the truth is, many Kenyans have been complaining, yeah, that the president is doing nothing. Even as the deputy president has gotten away with so many things, they've wondered, why are the president's hands tied? Why can't he do something? And he has the power to do something. Well, today you have the answer. And it is this particular event at Dagoretti Corner that set the stage for a battle royale between the president and his deputy. Because let's face it, William Ruto is a politician. Put yourself in his shoes. What would you have done you fight back with everything that you have. And this fighting back, the Deputy President, is what we are being told now was more betrayal, or can we call it betrayal part 2, after the elections. We have been told that the Deputy President, chini ya maji, encouraged NASA to continue with their protests against electoral injustice. And we are told at the same time, the Deputy President was urging the President to clamp down on the opposition, to do things to the opposition, to crush the opposition, to arrest Raila Odinga for being sworn in January 2018. And of course, after the Deputy President was let back into the fold with conditions, with a new deal, he got very busy, because he was put in charge of the elections. So he got very busy fixing the Jubilee nominations. Wouldn't you have done the same? To make himself powerful, so that as soon as the Jubilee government is back in power, he could put his plans to work. And of course, one of the plans was to frustrate the president in parliament, to frustrate the president within the Jubilee party. Because virtually all the Jubilee legislators, a vast majority of them, owed their seat to the Deputy President. You have to be loyal to the man who made it all happen. Doesn't that make sense? And so this explains very neatly why it was very difficult for the President to have a meeting where there'd be open discussions between himself and Jubilee legislators. The few meetings that were held was for the President to state a position of the party. No arguments, no discussion, no debate, no answers. You just listen and you go out and do as you're told. That's how those meetings were. But now we understand why. The President had absolutely very little support within his own party. William Samoei Ruto had grabbed everything. He was controlling everything. In a nutshell, all the accusations the President's men, and including the President himself, have given us, targeted at the Deputy President, are all falling neatly into place, suggesting that they must be true. Of course, the President's men are not telling us the part of the story where they had to do things to contain the Deputy President, where they had to do 1, 2, 3. Sometimes under the belt moves to survive. The Deputy President. They're not telling us that part of the story. But even if it was you, what would you have done? Would you just lie there and wait for what was coming to you? No! You fight back with everything that you have. And so this is precisely what has been going on. And now we can understand that the statement that we have heard said by a few politicians here and there, that Raila Amolo Odinga is the one who saved the Uhuru Kenyatta presidency. A very strong, controversial statement. We can now begin to see the possible truth in that particular statement. In my opinion, Raila Odinga, throughout this episode, throughout this drama, betrayal and counter-betrayal, did the right thing every time. Because we know he was approached by the Deputy President to assist in impeaching the President, to assist in defeating bills in Parliament brought by State House, to assist in bringing up other bills to frustrate the presidency in Parliament, which would get votes, massive votes, because with ODM legislators plus Jubilee legislators allied to DP Ruto, that would be a landslide in Parliament. They would win each and every bill they would have power, which would leave President Uhuru Kenyatta a lame duck president. But Raila Odinga did the right thing. Yeah. Hesitated in going to any kind of agreement with the Deputy President. And ultimately chose to go into a handshake with the President. Yeah. All those moves were in favor of the country called Kenya. And so, this is more evidence that this man, Raila Odinga, loves his country. Of course, he's a politician like any other, and all politicians are selfish. But when push comes to shove, it is clear that Raila always thinks of country first. This is very clear evidence right in front of you for those who can see, for those who want to see that this is a fact. That the legend of Kenyan politics is a man who loves and cares for his country. He's human, he's not safi kama pamba, but he loves and cares for his country. Now I'm keenly aware that these are some of the things when I say, you dear supporters see red. These are some of the things I say that cause them to say that I'm biased, that I'm a Raila Odinga blogger. Well, it really doesn't matter. I believe that what I do on this channel will always stand the test of time. And so their emotional opinion is irrelevant. Doesn't concern me too much. Because, let's face it, can you say the same about William Samoei Ruto? Can you say that he has put the country first? When? Give me evidence of when William Samoei Ruto has put the country first. Give me just one example. So what do you expect me to do? To tell people lies? To say that Raila Odinga always thinks about the country first, and then to add, so that I'm balanced, William Samoei Ruto also thinks of the country first. He makes sacrifices. He is not selfish, etc., etc. I mean, it even sounds funny. Making such statements, even when it's just an example. What I have just said about Raila Odinga is the truth. And time will prove me either wrong or correct. Because already the past screams that I'm 1000% correct. Anyway, what is going to happen next? Because in case you haven't noticed, we are being given information step by step by step. It started with the crazy revelation by a man called Livondo, Moneybags Livondo, who claimed in broad daylight that there had been attempts on the president's life. You remember that? Now these other revelations are coming in bits and pieces. Kidogo kidogo kama dawa. Now what this tells us is that there's much more coming. What this tells us is that we're building up to something. And something very big. Oh yes, that's how I'm reading it. And in my opinion, it is getting very scary. Because for the first time in the history of our country, a leader has gone out into the public and called the President of the Republic of Kenya a liar. Stop your lies. The Deputy President has responded. Unprecedented. Where will it all end? How will it all end? I have no idea. But I believe how this thing will end. There's no other way it can end other than in a very dramatic, explosive manner. That's my opinion. Because already, as I've said, we're building up to something. But what we don't know. But definitely, we're building up to something. And I dare repeat, it is very scary for those of us who understand Kenyan politics. You know, I have reason to believe, to suspect, that deep in his heart, the Deputy President is very surprised that President Uhuru Kenyatta has reached this far. And I also suspect President Uhuru Kenyatta is more than surprised that the Deputy President has survived this far. And maybe, just maybe, it may be time to do the right thing and the only thing, to reach some kind of amicable understanding, a kind of truce, agree to divorce peacefully and let everybody go his direction, without the baggage of the other. But of course that's being naive, because we all know that one side of the political divide will never do the right thing. They'll always do the thing that will benefit them. And usually, that's how somebody goes far in politics. By being ruthless and selfish and not doing the right thing, but doing only the thing that benefits them individually, or the thing that benefits their cause, without a second thought to the ordinary Kenyan. And at the same time, they're telling the ordinary Kenyan that they care about them, that they care about the poor, the hustlers, etc., etc., and that they want to introduce a new economic model, bottom-up economic model that starts at the bottom. To be honest, I understand a little economics. I did it in my levels. I have a basic understanding of economics. And according to what I know, which is very little, this bottoms-up thing does not make sense. It's not practical. It's a theory that I don't see. It seems very attractive, if you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. But how practical is it? How practical is it to do things bottom up? How? To simplify it further, how do you reverse the flow of funds, the flow of money, so that it flows from down to up? How? How do you do that? Do you just pour money in the bottom part of the economy? How do you do it? UDA needs to explain to us in detail, not just catchy phrases. They need to explain to us in detail and tell us where else in the world it has worked, so that we look at that other country and we see how it works, and then we understand. But they've not done that, and I doubt whether they'll do that, because that is not the end game. The end game has nothing to do with ordinary Kenyans. It is all to do with personal ambition, and that's the truth. Do your research and prove me wrong. And start with the track record of this person pushing the bottom-up theory, because it's just a theory. Not all theories work. In fact, most theories are wrong. Anyway, let's wait and see what happens. But as I've said, as a country, we are not in a good position. People can cheer and get excited when somebody insults the President of the Republic of Kenya. Some people can cheer and get excited when somebody insults the mother of the nation. She's not perfect. She's human. She may have made many mistakes in the past, but it is not African to insult your mother. How do you do that? And then when they notice things are going bad for them, they start making excuses. Or give me evidence where the Deputy President insulted the First Lady. Well, people are not stupid. Those people who insulted the First Lady, they were sent by who? Who do they support? Who are they talking on behalf of? Because we know all the time they talk on behalf of somebody. So are you telling us in this instance, they did not talk on behalf of somebody? Get out of here. Wacha uongo. Yeah? Tuambie uongo ambayo tunaweza kuamini. Tell us lies that are believable, not lies that are ridiculous. And I'm being balanced because I'm saying the truth and nothing but the truth. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. Out of all the political books I've ever written, and there are quite a number, Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency stands out as an amazing bestseller. Yeah. And also many consider it a classic because it takes a look at the office of the Presidency of the Republic of Kenya like nobody else has ever done before, or even to date. And many of those who have taken in this amazing ebook say that they just couldn't stop reading through. Yeah. They just couldn't put it down. Maybe that has a lot to do with some of the mind-boggling information contained in this book. Did you know, for example, that Jomo Kenyatta once confessed in public that he would never, ever touch alcohol again? Many people don't know that, and they don't even know the circumstances. But many of us know that the first president of Kenya during his presidency enjoyed the occasional stiff drink, when his health allowed, despite the earlier firm promise he had made in public earlier in his life. And don't even mention the scene painted very clearly in the book, where a small boy shivering because it was raining cats and dogs and carrying a 2-year-old baby on his back arrived at the home of his grandfather, who made some predictions that dominated his life, frustrated him for the rest of his life, until that prediction came true. Or maybe it is because of the picture painted of Daniel Arap Moi, especially during his first cabinet meeting, where it was difficult for him even to look up. And even the other cabinet ministers, some of them who had been harassing him for years, could not look at him straight in the eye. There was so much tension at that cabinet meeting, captured perfectly, accurately in Dark Secrets. It is totally amazing. And there's much more, right up to the Kibaki presidency. Now I have some amazing news for you. This book is available in video format. That is, you don't even have to read it. Many people hate to read. They don't have the time to read. You can take it in as a video. You can take it in as an audiobook. Listen to it right through. And I have an amazing offer for you today. Not only will I send you the ebook in PDF format, you can even print it out as a book and read it. I will also send it to you in video format, so that you can listen to it right through or watch it right through. Amazing, isn't it? But there's more. If you take advantage of this very latest offer of mine, I will give you 6 months membership free to my weekly intelligence briefings. That means if you already have 6 months, I will add you another 6 months on top of what you have, so that you have a whole year to enjoy my weekly intelligence briefings. And by the way, I have quite a number of briefings, Jikoni, that I'm preparing, which I'll release in quick succession within the next few days. And those are weekly intelligence briefings you don't want to miss. So don't waste any time. For slightly above $10 for the little money, you can't even go into most restaurants with that kind of money, you'll be able to receive both the PDF format of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency and the video version. Yeah, so don't waste any time. You can see the details on your screens right now. Just send a blank email to that email address you see, and you'll receive full payment instructions on what to do. The same payment instructions are repeated in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. This offer is only for a very limited time. Yeah, so take full advantage of it. And of course, in taking up this offer, you'll also be supporting the work I do on this channel. And if you believe this work is important, yeah, then you will be doing something very important in getting hold of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency. Go for it right away. Asanteni sana for your time. This is your humble servant, Chris Kumekucha. When God gives you a gift, it is not for you. It is not for your family. It is for other people. You're supposed to use your gift to change the lives of other people. And for those who seek happiness in this life, nothing will make a human being happier. Trust me, nothing in this world will make a human being happier than the knowledge that they have changed one person's life forever. Yeah? Now, I've been very fortunate to have been very gifted by God. And not only gifted, but also trained in the renowned University of Hard Knocks. Yeah? The harsh university of this life. And I feel very privileged and very humbled, yeah, to get to know all the time that I've changed many people's lives forever. I even know a couple of people who no longer come to this channel, not because they hate me, but because they are busy these days. So busy that they hardly have time, but they've regained their dignity. They're putting food on the table. They're doing a lot of things, amazing things. And all thanks to some books I produced, which you can see on your screens right now, that changed their lives. Not only did they get that idea that changed everything, but they also got the skills to be able to sell without looking like they're selling. Because it's one thing to get a brilliant idea to make money, but it's quite another to do it practically and get people interested and get somebody to actually pay you real money for what it is you're offering. It is also one thing to have a business that is struggling, a business operating way below its true potential. That's one thing. And it's quite another to turn around that business so that it prospers. You have plenty of customers. My sincere hope in making this short clip is to influence and change the lives of many more Kenyans, because that is my mandate. That is what I was born to do. And I felt that this is the perfect time. Many people have been hit very hard by the COVID manenos. Life has become very difficult, almost unbearable for some. Some businesses that were making serious money before Corona are now struggling. Others have shut down completely. There is no better time for these two amazing titles have produced. Yeah? 101 brilliant business ideas or money-making ideas that will thrive in the country called Kenya and well beyond, almost anywhere in the world. And how to get plenty of customers immediately, very quickly. For only $25, you can have both ebooks, life-changing ebooks. And for only $15, you can have only the ideas. Now you can see details on your screens right now. You will find full payment details in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. I highly recommend it. And I have a suggestion. Maybe you're doing okay. I would suggest that you get it for a friend. You get the books for a friend, a relative, or somebody you know who is having it very difficult right now. It'll help them. It'll change their lives. And you'll have helped me to touch one more life, to change one more life, because that is my mission. Asante sana.